everybody, my name is Ben Thompson. Today I'll be preparing mac and cheese. For today's recipe, we'll be using a cup of noodles, which for today's prep have already been put into the boiling pot, some milk, 1 tablespoon of butter, as well as some mild cheddar cheese, and a whisk will be used for mixing. Now, the first step would be to get a pot of boiling water going. However, I've already gotten a pot of boiling water going right here. As we can see, it's boiling pretty nicely. Then you would add the noodles into the pot of boiling water, along with a spritz, just a spritz of salt. Keep the noodles from sticking. Now you're going to cook those noodles for about 8 minutes or until soft. Like a true chef, you'll need to taste it to make sure it's ready. Getting along with our cheese sauce. You want to get a small saucepan over on the next burner, light it up, toss that butter in there, just like that. Mix it all around. Make sure you do not burn your butter, as that will be a very sad day for all of you. Next, you're going to want to take your milk. I usually eyeball this, depending on how much sauce you're wanting to make. I'm going to fill it up to about there today. And you're going to want to get this nice and hot. Make sure all the butter melts. You want the milk to be warm, not boiling. As you can see, the pot is still boiling over here. Mix it around. So we wait about approximately 3 minutes to get this milk up to kind of a rolling simmer, not a rolling boil, it's a rolling simmer. We are ready to add our cheese. So take our bag of cheese here. I'm just going to want to go ahead and dump a good amount of cheese in. Usually until you can barely see the milk anymore, because we want this to be a cheese sauce, not a milk sauce. Once you have that, you're going to mix it around, and the cheese should begin to start to melt. As you can see here, the cheese is already starting to melt. Now, no one likes a stringy cheese sauce, so we're going to want to mix this around for about a solid 1.5 to 2 minutes, or until this begins to thicken up and becomes strictly cheese. Water was starting to boil on this side, so I turned it down slightly. As you can see, it's starting to thicken up a bit. Still a bit on the runny side, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more of my Sargento cheese. Now, you can use any kind of cheese for this, however I prefer just Sargento. I know my good friend Kyle likes to use Kraft, but I believe that's because he shops at Walmart a bit too much. However, if you want to go with Kraft, that's totally fine. Now this is starting to really thicken up, start to look nice. You don't want to burn it at all, just mix it until it's nice and thick and smooth, so you don't want it to be too stringy like I said previously. I'm going to go on over here while that mixes a little more. Check a noodle. Now usually you want to just take one. They're going to be hot, so I just take one real quick. And those are done. Those are some high quality noodles. So you're going to turn your water off. As you can see, this cheese sauce is looking nice. We're going to go ahead and turn the burner on the cheese sauce off. Slide it to the back burner. And you want to slide it to the back burner so that it doesn't burn. Take the whisk out, place it here so we can get cheese in. Next, you're going to want to take your pot of boiling water, walk it over to a sink where you'll have a strainer waiting. Be careful not to burn yourself. This is quite a hazardous part. Pour the noodles into the strainer, and then you will go ahead and shake the excess water out, trying not to spill noodles like I just did. Back into the pot the noodles will go, and back over to the stove. Back at the stove, you want to take your cheese sauce, which should still be warm, place it in with the noodles, and go ahead and take your spoon and mix that up. Once you've thoroughly mixed it so that it's spread evenly throughout all of the noodles, you want to take it over to your bowl. Pour as much of a serving as wanted. And there you are. A nice steaming bowl of mac and cheese. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave those in the comments. Thank you.